Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ako si Rowena Candice Ruiz, ang Executive Director ng Government Procurement Policy Board Technical Support Office, and I'm glad to be with you today to share with you how the GPPB and its Technical Support Office are leading the way towards a more responsive and agile public procurement.
Now let us begin with the proactive issuance of rules. While we know that Republic Act 9184 has public bidding as its default modality, nakapaloob din dito ang alternative modality kagaya ng negotiated procurement, emergency cases. This can be resorted to when there's imminent danger to life or property during a state of calamity, whether it's local or national, or when time is of the essence arising from natural or man-made calamities, or other causes where immediate action is necessary to prevent damage to or loss of life or property, or restore vital public services, infrastructure facilities, and other public utilities. In all three circumstances, we can see that the time element is very important. That is why, at the start of the pandemic last year, we already have the procurement rules and policies available for us to be able to immediately respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the GPPB did not stop there. It even further streamlined the emergency procurement rules through Resolution number 03-2020 issued noong March 9 last year. Dinagdag ng GPPB ang mga COVID-19 items tulad ng PPEs, face mask at common medicines bilang common use supplies and equipment. Ang ibig sabihin nito, maaari nang bilhin ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno ang mga COVID-19 items sa procurement service. At the same time, dinagdagan nila ang paggamit ng emergency procurement para sa provision of immediate response and initial recovery steps to avoid loss of life, injury, disease, and other negative effects on human, physical, mental, and social well-being, damage to property, destruction of assets, loss of services, social and economic disruption, and environmental degradation. Kung mapapansin ninyo, this is similar to the provisions of the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010. At the same time, we anticipated that the government will have to procure quarantine centers, evacuation sites, medical relief, and aid distribution locations, warehousing facilities, or similar temporary disaster or emergency response facilities. Kung kaya dinagdag din to ng GPPB sa maaring paggamitan ng emergency procurement. To further streamline the procedure, tinanggal na rin po ng GPPB yung dating requirement for a prior written confirmation by the HOPE bago tayo gumamit ng emergency procurement. At nagdagdag ng mga delegation of authorities. Maaari nang hindi na bakang mag-negotiate basta ma-delegate ng authority nito ng HOPE sa ibang tao, unit or office ng ahensya. At the same time, pwede rin ma-delegate ng HOPE ang kanyang authority to sign contracts para mas mapabilis ang proseso. Now, unlike public bidding, mas madali lamang po ang documentary requirements ng emergency procurement. But this was further streamlined under GPPB Resolution 05-2020. Pinayagan po ng board ang pag-accept na expired business or mayor's permit basta may official receipt of renewal application at kailangan to isubmit later even after award of contract. At the same time, pwede rin mag-accept ng unauthorized omnibus sworn statement, subject also to compliance after award of contract. You might ask bakit tayo tatanggap ng unauthorized omnibus sworn statement. Ang notarization po does not make a contract valid or a document valid. It only makes the same public. Kung kaya yung pinirmahan na omnibus sworn statement ng bidder, ay valid pa rin po kahit hindi siya notaryado. Now, what is the process for negotiated procurement emergency cases? Simple lamang po ito. 4 easy steps. First, kailangan ho ng purchase request from the end user. Requirement po ito ng COA. Second, i-revise ang APP at i-validate ang budget for the purpose. At pag meron na nito, maaari na tayo mag-directly negotiate with a legally, technically, and financially capable supplier, contractor, or consultant. Once this is confirmed, maaari na po tayo mag-award ng kontrata. Ganun lamang po. Now, hindi lamang po yan ang ginawa ng GPPB. Alam natin na madalas takot ang mga ahensya na mag-procure using emergency procurement because baka makuha. Kaya po, for the first time, the GPPB and the COA had a joint memorandum circular last March 26, 2020. Ano pong ginawa nito? Nirecognize po ang mga issuances ng GPPB at the same time, kinonfirm po ang authority ng mga procuring entities na gumamit ng negotiated procurement emergency cases para tugunan ang mga pangangailangan natin to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now you might ask, so ito na lamang ba ang gagamitin nating modality para sa pag-procure katulad ng procurement ng vaccine? Opo, ito po ang gagamitin natin for our COVID-19 vaccination program. Negotiated procurement emergency cases din po ang modality para mag-procure ng vaccine at ang mga ancillary services nito. Meron lamang pong konting difference. Una, maaari po tayong mag-procure kahit wala pang approved APP, basta meron na ho tayong funds for the purpose at na-validate na ito. Kinakailangan din kung isubmit ang approved APP bago magbayad. Now, importante yung malaman din natin na the documentary requirements I mentioned earlier ay hindi po applicable for the procurement of the COVID-19 vaccine. Ulitin ko po, yung documentary requirements, hindi po siya mag-a-apply sa COVID-19 vaccine procurement. Dahil ito pong mga documentary requirements ay ididetermina ng DOH at NTF bilang negotiators natin for the procurement of vaccine. At the same time, tinignan po namin ang requirement ng FDA para ma-issuehan ng mga pharmaceutical companies ng emergency use authorization. Kasama po dito ang license to operate. Kung kaya po minabuti namin na simplihan na lamang ang mga documentary requirements at wag nang dagdagan dahil meron naman pong sinabit ang mga pharmaceutical companies sa FDA. And at the same time, gusto po rin namin ma-emphasize na advance payment po under Circular 02-2021 issued just last March 25, 2020 ay nagbibigay po ng advance payment up to the full cost of the contract price. Ito po ay alinsunod sa Republic Act 11525 or the COVID-19 Vaccination Program Act. Importante lamang po na ni-require ng supplier, manufacturer or distributor or service provider yung pagbabayad ng advance payment. Iba rin po ang posting requirements under RA 11525. Kailangan pong i-post ang mga information na nakikita niyo sa screen sa conspicuous place at sa GPPB online portal. So there you have it. Those are the rules, procedures, and conditions for negotiated procurement emergency cases. Now let me share with you some of the procurement innovations we have implemented which were very useful during this pandemic. Alam niyo ba na as early as 2018, the GPPB has already authorized the use of video conferencing and similar technologies in the conduct of meetings of the Bids and Awards Committee. So matagal na pong pwede ang virtual back meetings under GPPB Resolution 24-2018. This is complemented with the use of digital signature under GPPB Resolution 16-2019. Noong 2019 pa lang po, pwede nang gamitin ng mga procurement officers ang kanilang digital signature. Makikita niyo po sa screen ng mga examples nito. This uses also the PNPKI or the Philippine National Public Key Infrastructure, kaya po secured ang ating mga digital signature. At the same time, last year, inalaw po ng GPPB ang electronic submission and receipt of bids. First, through the GPPB online portal. This is not yet operational as this is ongoing beta testing. Ang operational po ay number 2, which is the electronic submission and receipt of bids through any electronic means available. Importante lamang po ay mag-comply sa requirement na ito. Kailangan may archive format compression at password protection ng bid na isasubmit ng ating mga bidders. I-open lamang po, ibibigay ang password during the opening of bids. At number 3, kailangan po siyang capable of generating audit trail of transaction to ensure the security, integrity, and authenticity of bid submission. As of now po, meron na po tayong 196 procuring entities na gumagamit ng electronic bid submission. Recently, the GPPB also issued Circular Number 01-2021. It includes, among others, providing online access to observers. Nakita po natin na konti na lamang ang observers na uma-attend ng bidding sa gobyerno, even before the pandemic. Kaya po minabuti ng GPPB na instruct ang ating PhilJEPs para ilagay po ang online monitoring sa ating modernized PhilJEPs. Ongoing development po muna to at hindi pa po siya available sa ating MPhilJEPs. Pero habang hindi available, ni-require natin ng mga procuring entities na mag-provide ng online access to observers using their own facilities. Earlier, I mentioned the posting requirement under the GPPB online portal. You might ask, ano po ba itong portal na ito? Well, let's see kung ano po ito. Dinevelop po ito ng GPPB TSO with the help of the USAID last year. Minabuti po kasi namin magkaroon ng isang open platform kung saan maari po nating i-post lahat ng awarded contracts under the Bayanihan laws, no? Particularly for the procurement of COVID-19 items. Bakit po ito necessary? Meron po kasing limitation ng posting sa PhilJEPs. Kung hindi po registered ang supplier, hindi po natin mapopost ang mga awarded contracts. Kung kaya minabuti po namin na magkaroon ng GPPB online portal. So dito po makikita natin ang mga posted contracts whether by procuring entities, pwede rin po ang per supplier. Open po to sa public, hindi na po kailangan ng registration. Now, kinomplement po namin ang GPPB online portal with our very own online blacklisting portal. Ito naman po ay ginawa ng GPPB Technical Support Office in-house. Kami lamang po ang gumawa nito at ang objective po ay para nang sa ganon makita po ng publiko at the same time ng mga ibang procuring entities through the consolidated blacklisting report kung sino-sino ba ang mga suppliers na blacklisted. Makikita po natin dito lahat yun. Wala akong kailangan registration. Nandyan po yung grounds for the blacklisting at yung period. Meron din po itong automatic notification sa PhilJEPs para ho makancel ang registration ng mga suppliers sa PhilJEPs at hindi na po makapag-award ng kontrata dito. Automatic din pong mawawala ang pangalan ng supplier kapag ho natapos na ang period of suspension as provided by the procuring entity in this portal. So makikita niyo po, marami po talaga tayong ginawa ng mga innovations to technology na makatutulong during this pandemic dahil yung pong ating online blacklisting portal ay very, very useful para ho sa post-qualification ng mga bidders. In fact, meron po tayong kontrata na na-terminate dahil nakita po ng public na kapangalan or kapareho ho ng isang blacklisted entity yung na-awardan sa ating GPPB online portal. Isa sa mga functions ng GPPB ay i-monitor ang procurement performance ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno. At nagagawa po yan to the submission of procurement reports. Beginning 2020, electronic na rin po ang submission ng ating mga reports, hindi lamang po para nang sa ganon ay maiwasan natin ang pagkalat ng COVID. Ito rin po ay para mas maging efficient at mabawasan ng errors sa pagsasabit ng ating procurement reports. Ginamit ho din natin ang opportunity na to na ma-accelerate ang ating automation project. Itong automation project po natin ay magde-develop tayo ng web or online application for the submission of procurement reports. Hopefully po, matapos na po ito this year at ma-implement na natin next year. Apart from accelerating the digital transformation of the GPPB and its technical support office, we also see the need and importance for us to simplify and further streamline our procurement procedure. That is why last year, the GPPB issued the 6th edition Simplified Bidding Documents. What we did was we took out all of the overlapping provisions in the bidding documents, simplified the wordings, at the same time, took out the conflicting provision and all those provisions that are already included in the law and in the IRR. Kaya po, from the 112 pages po ng ating PBDs for goods, naging 40 pages na lamang po siya. On the other hand, yung ating 114 pages for infrastructure projects ay naging 35 pages na lamang. Ito po ay naging effective last October 6, 2020. So we're also making bidding easy not only for our procuring entities, but also for our suppliers, contractors, and consultants. Now, at the same time, we complemented this with the use of the PBD Builder. Ano po yung PBD Builder? Makikita po to sa ating GPPB online portal and all you have to do is log in and from there, maaari na po tayong mag-prepare ng ating bidding documents online. All you have to do is encode and input all of the information of your bidding documents, click from the radio buttons and even the drop-down options, and that's it. Maaari na po tayong mag-download at magagawa na natin at matatapos ang ating bidding documents. Now, because of all of these efforts in only a span of 11 months, we're able to conduct and participate in 52 online trainings and webinars with more than 9,000 participants, and our Facebook page has more than 206,000 views. And we are also on social media. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just search for Government Procurement PH. You can also subscribe on our website at www.gppb.gov.ph to get automatic notification for all GPPB issuances. And if you have any questions or comments and suggestions, just scan this QR code and drop your questions, and we will surely try our best to answer and get back to you.
So there you have it. I hope this procurement learning session can be an effective tool for us to weather all of the procurement challenges, especially in light of this pandemic. Again, this is Rowena Candice Ruiz, thanking you for your kind attention, and together we can all work towards a more responsive and agile public procurement. Good day and keep safe.